Alright guys, so we are back talking about the standard deviation again, and means and stuff like that. So if you remember, this was a long video we did the other day showing you how to find the variance and then standard deviation of sample data, of these data right here. And remember, if you suffered through the entire thing, it was a long video. Okay. Now we did calculate the standard deviation two different ways. We used the definition. We found the variance first, and then found the square root using this method here, which says find all of the deviations from the mean. Those are x minus x bars. Square all those, add them up, and divide by n minus 1. That was all this data right here. It took a while. Okay. Then we have the shortcut formula. That shaved a good bit of time off. Okay. But here's a way to either use your calculator, and again, there's nothing disingenuous about this. It's use technology to make things go by faster. You can use your calculator. Now you have to, of course, know the syntax and know how to use your calculator. So you, make sure to, if you're going to do this, to make sure to really practice to make sure you're fluent in using your calculator. But I have a virtual TI-83 right here. Okay. This has all the same functions as the one. If you have an 83, the 84 is very similar. Most everybody has an 83 or an 84, or an 83 or 84 plus. Okay, so let's see here. So we have these raw data here, and we want to enter those raw data into what's called a list on your calculator. So if you go here, you see that if you go to second stat, there's all of your lists. Now we want to edit a list because we need to put all of this information in a list. Now we can't edit it here. We have to go to a different menu. We have to go to the stat menu. So don't hit second or anything, just hit stat. And see here, we can edit a list with that first option. So you want to do the first option and see we have list 1, we have list 2, list 3. I think there's up to 6 lists on a TI-83. What you want to do is enter all these numbers, and the first list is fine. We'll just use the first one. So 41, then hit enter, then 37, hit enter, 69, enter, 61, enter 45, enter 31, enter 46, enter 31, enter 50, enter 48, 56, and 38. Okay, so there is our list. So you can scroll back up and make sure you have all the numbers right. Very important you have the numbers right, because if you don't have the, this is a computer, so if you don't have the numbers inputted right, you're going to for sure get the wrong answer. Now, you want to get out of here, don't hit clear or anything, just hit second, quit. Okay, so now we have list 1 data stored. Now that's how you enter the data into a list. And now all you have to do is go to let's see, variables. Nope, not variables. Stats. Yes, stat. And go to the calculate menu, and you want this first option here, 1 var statistics. That's 1 variable statistics. So hit enter. And then you need to tell it where to look for data, and we stored our data in list 1. So hit second 1. You see, if you hit second key, it's going to give you list 1. Hit enter. Okay. Now let's see what it tells us here. It tells us the x bar is 46.083. Look, that's exactly what we got. So that checks out. Okay. It tells us the sum of the x's is 553. Well, I don't have it written down here, but 553, and we squared it, was 305,809. So that checks out. The sum of the x squares is 26,979, which, look what we have right there. And then here's what can be confusing sometimes to students. We have S and we have sigma. We have capital S and sigma. Now, we always use lowercase s's to represent standard deviation. I'm not sure why TI uses uppercase here, but that is S of X. That's the sample standard deviation, and then the sigma, that's the population. So, the calculator, nowhere did we specify to the calculator that that was population data or sample data. So it gives us both. It calculates the sample standard deviation as well as the sample standard deviation. So we have, population. Sample standard deviation versus sigma for population. And notice if I scroll down here a little bit, bring this back, it tells us that the sample standard deviation is 11.658 if we round, and yeah, so we were exactly right with our calculations earlier. If we scroll down a little bit, it says that n is 12, the minimum value is 31, the maximum value is, well, it doesn't have a maximum yet, the Q1, which that's really nice. Now, if you remember what Q1 is, that's the first quartile. Okay, remember that's when you, to find the quartiles, usually you have to rank the data, find the median, then find Q1 and Q2. Well, it tells us Q1 is 37.5. So this is a quick way to check yourself to see if if you found the first, second, third quartile. The median, remember the median's Q2, 45.5. Q3 is 53. So it gives us lots of information here. The maximum value is 69. So again, lots of super useful information here. This is a good way to check yourself, or if there's you have a lot of number crunching to do, just go ahead and do this. Again, there's nothing disingenuous. This isn't cheating. This is working smart. Okay. So I hope this has been helpful. This is how you could save yourself some time, especially when you have a lot of calculations to do. Of course, you have to remember this process. Remember, you have to enter the numbers in the list. Then you have to figure out how to get to that one variable stats and then tell it where to get the data from. So again, this will save you a bunch of time calculating the mean, calculating the standard deviation. Now, one last thing. If you need variance, remember, variance, I never listed variance anywhere in here. Variance is just the standard deviation squared. So if, for instance, we're done with a sample here, so we would use this S 11.658 figure here. Now, nowhere does it tell us that the actual variance, but if we needed the variance, just take your standard deviation and square it. So we have variance here, or the variance we can get, we have standard deviation, we have the mean, we have the sum of the x squareds, if we need those for some reason, the sum of the x's, we have the minimum and maximum values, as well as the quartiles. So, really useful information. Again, hopefully you have a TI calculator. If you have a different scientific calculator, your calculator can probably do all this. It's just a matter of learning how to input the information and using your calculator to find the different values. Again, most scientific calculators can do this stuff. It just might be a little bit more difficult to figure it out. But just look up your user manual online, and you can figure it out for whatever calculator model you have. Okay? If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in class. See you guys soon.